This is more powerful than a lot of times parents realize. Instead of being so focused on what you want to do and how you want to present something to them, and I need the right words to say all the time, it's not so much about what you're saying. Sometimes it's just about being there. One of the most underrated skills that a parent can have is a simple thing that is often overlooked, and it's simply the power of presence. There is so much we can bring to the table for our children when we're willing to just be present. The other day, my 11-year-old was just having one of those days where she was feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, and she just seemed kind of out of sorts. And when I approached her for connection to check on my girl, just make sure she's okay, she made it very clear that she did not want to be bothered and that she really just wanted to be left alone. Now, the very first thing that the power of presence allowed me to pay attention to was who she is. That for her as a person, the way I responded to her wanting to be left alone was dependent on her personality. Not mine, not anybody else in the family, but who is she? Now, my daughter is like a lot of kids that parents tend to have a hard time with. She's one of those kids that struggle very much so with negative ideations. They seem to kind of fall on a negative evaluation of things when they're left alone. That you might think, oh, give them a little time to burn off some steam, they might be okay. But if you leave them alone, they might come up with you don't like them, that everything is bad, or they blame everybody else. Nothing's ever their fault. And it just is what it is. Some people kind of have that personality, and my sweet girl has it. And it can be hard. So parents, I know, I feel you. We are in the fight together. And it's overwhelming. But I knew because of who she is, leaving her alone with her thoughts would not have resulted in clarity that would have brought her closer to others and to herself, or a positive worldview in general. So I had to do something different. The value of being present allows me to know who she is. Because my older daughter, if she would have told me to leave her alone, I would have walked away. Because she personally tends to come up with good stuff. She really does just need a moment and to breathe. So that is a gift that parents can give to their children by just being present. Not trying to know, let me know the tools and try to use them all the same on every child. No. That's why presence is important. So because I understood that, I knew that she needed me to help her process. That she needed me to help her find some peace in this very difficult situation that she was going through emotionally. So the very first thing I did is I just let her know that, listen, your feelings are totally valid. I understand wanting to be left alone. And I even apologized. Not because I felt that I did anything wrong, not because she was, deserving of any apology, but because I was sorry that she's frustrated. And that was my real feeling. So I said it. I'm sorry you're so frustrated. That's hard, I get it. And I let her know that I want to prioritize connection with her. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to just be present with you in this moment. And that I always be here for you. So even when it's hard, or even when you seem frustrated, I got your back. So I just sat down. After I said that, I let her know why I was doing what I was doing. And I sat on down. I sat right down in the room, didn't say another word. And it took a little bit. I didn't look at her. I didn't stare down. I didn't roll my eyes. I just sat there and let her know that I'm here. I was present. So at first she just kind of looked around, and then she kind of rolled her eyes and was kind of like, Angel, leave me alone. Like, let's just be real. She was like, oh my gosh. But I stayed there because I know who she is. And I just stayed there. And after a little while, she just kind of looked at me, and then she said, Mama, can I have a hug? And then I gave her a big old hug. And she started to tell me about her stress with her sport and the skills she needed to work on, and how she just kind of felt like she wasn't quite getting things right. And then she said, well, I don't know what's going on with me. I just been feeling a little bit more angry lately, and I'm not really sure why. And I let her know that, hey, that's, she's a pre-adolescent. So what she was going through was totally normal. It just seems like the world started to shift around 10 to 13. before those teen years. We talk about the teen years, but right before the teen years, things start to change. It started to feel like the whole world is watching you and you're going through pre-adolescence. Like things are shifting for you. And so I talked her through it and we managed her emotions. I gave her some things she can do and let her know that when it gets hard, I'm here. This is more powerful than a lot of times parents realize. Instead of being so focused on what you want to do and how you want to present something to them, and I need the right words to say all the time, it's not so much about what you're saying. Sometimes it's just about being there. A lot of times, children are not going to remember all the 13,000 gifts. They're not going to remember how much money you spent on something. But they're going to remember that my mom was there. My dad was there. So parents, if you find yourself struggling to find the right words, just be okay being present.